Ala Rasulillah. I'll try to be quick, my brothers and sisters, as much as I can. Look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in multiple places in the Quran, multiple areas, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds the human being that, O son of man, take shaitan as your enemy. You know, for Allah, He can say something once and that's it. We understand, it's in the Quran. If it made it to the Quran, we understand its importance. Take him as an enemy. He is a sworn enemy. Don't follow shaitan. Don't follow the whispers of shaitan. Allah goes to the extent saying, don't follow the footsteps of shaitan. Again and again, don't follow, watch out. Take him as an enemy. So probably thinking that what's shaitan got to do with the month of Ramadan? Almost every sheikh has mentioned that, come the month of Ramadan, shaitan is chained away. The reality is, my brothers, shaitan has worked for centuries on this ummah, and he has worked for centuries to destroy every goodness we have in this deen. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Alhamdulillah, I was quite fortunate that just a few weeks ago we were in Umrah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this possible for everyone. So we're there, we're in Umrah, and imagine, you're in the Holy of the Holy. The Holy of the Holy, we're sitting in front of the Kaaba. Front of the Kaaba. And, there's this moment, anyone that's been there knows what I'm talking about. He's sitting in front of this. It's just epic in every sense of the word. And then the adhan goes off. Imagine if the Kaaba, shaitan has not left alone. So then the adhan goes off, and then I see people stand up and they're pulling out their phones, and I can talk about the phone all day long. But I'm thinking, it's a special moment, let it be. So they're pulling out their phones and they're standing in front of the Kaaba, and then as soon as the adhan goes off, instead of looking at the Kaaba or recording the Kaaba, they turn to their sides and they start recording this clock tower building. I just think, oh my heart, man. Even the Kaaba is not enough for the hearts of the believers. This clock tower, this monstrosity of a building. And tonight I'm not here to speak about halal and haram. I'm not speaking about halal and haram, but just for a moment, think deep with me. If I'm standing in front of the Kaaba, if I'm one of the very few fortunate people, look, there's almost 2 billion people, almost 2 billion Muslims on earth. Very few are selected and allowed to stand in front of the Kaaba. Yet even at that moment, while the adhan is being called, Muslims have turned and they're recording this clock tower, and you should see their eyes. Look, brother, look, it's glittering, it's turning green. I'm thinking, bro, you're standing in front of the Kaaba. Shaitan has worked endlessly. We go to Medina. Imagine Medina, Masjid al-Nabawi, the Holy of the Holy. The Holy of the Holy. You're in Medina. Imagine a place the Prophet chose to die in. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You walk into Masjid al-Nabawi, and look, alhamdulillah, I'm fortunate that I take, young guys, youth, and you walk into the masjid. This is the masjid that changed the world. Masjid al-Nabawi is the masjid that changed the course of history for life. Yet we walk into the masjid and shaitan has left no stone unturned. You walk into the masjid, again, I'm not speaking about halal and haram, and we're in awe of the carpet, of the pillars, of the electric domes that open and close, and people pull out their phones and look, Sheikh, and our hearts are connected, not to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not to the land where Jibreel descended thousands of times to bring down Quran, to speak to the Prophet, to help. No. The hearts of the Muslims has gone where? Every time I go, someone asks me, brother, how many pillars do you think there's in Masjid al-Nabawi? So shaitan has left what? No stone unturned. And unfortunately, he's done the same with Ramadan. You might think, but brother, shaitan is chained up in the month of Ramadan. Let me tell you, my brothers, shaitan has been working 11 months. He actually needs the full weeks off. He's more than happy to take the month of Ramadan off. He's been winding you and up so long. You know, like there used to be a phase, the fidget spinner. You know the fidget spinner? The more you spin it, what happens to it? The more you spin it, then when you let it go, it runs for longer. Habibi, Shaitan's been spinning you and I for 11 months of the year. So come Ramadan, him and his mates, they're kicking back saying, watch this guy go, bro. Boom. And you're gone for a 6. Gone for a 6. And wallah, it breaks my heart. It boggles the mind. How has Shaitan been so successful in changing the Ramadan that the Salaf and the Prophet and the companions used to long for? To this, you know, the companions, look, in Masjid al-Nabawi, when Umar ibn al-Khattab came into rule, came into power, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Umar ibn al-Khattab's time was like, it's known in our history as the golden era of Islam. That's the peak. After the death of Umar ibn al-Khattab, it was just, things were never the same. So in his time, obviously Islam is growing. So now the companions came, pressure was there. It was necessary to do what? To expand Masjid al-Nabawi. They had to do it. And you know, Umar ibn al-Khattab was one of those very specific people. You know, he used to monitor the hearts of not only his heart, but the hearts of. Anyway, so now they've expanded the masjid. It's a sign of growth. It's a sign of success. Imagine the Prophet's mosque. They've expanded it. Money is coming in. Now the companions, they're debating amongst each other on who has the heart, who has the courage to go to Umar ibn al-Khattab and suggest, not carpet, not chandeliers, not electric domes. No. Who is brave enough to suggest that we should put some paint on the walls? So Umar ibn al-Khattab says, over my dead body. What was his dalil? What was his thinking? What was the wisdom? He said, I fear that the color of the walls just may be a distraction and a fitna for the hearts of the believers. So you look at electric domes and you're in awe. Umar refused to paint the walls because he knew how sick our hearts were. How, just for the love of Allah, someone explain to me, how has Shaitan turned the month of fasting into the month of feasting? Someone, please explain. The month of eating less has become the month of throwing food away. Not halal and haram, I'm not here to debate. The mashayikh here, I'm not a sheikh at all. I'm not here to speak fiqh. But just think with me. How has the month of fasting, how has he been so successful into turning it into the month of feasting? Is it haram to eat? La wallah, it's not haram to eat. But brother, I ask you by Allah, is this what Ramadan is about? You want to see the condition of the Muslims? Go to an iftar where the food is late. Bala Sheikh, Bala Ballut, bro, where the hell is the food? Brother, wallahi, they've ordered the food, the brother's stuck in the car. Who's the hamar that's driving, brother? Doesn't he know? That's the condition. The month of, look, in the best of times, look, if you're doubtful about me in any way, look, there's 3-4 mashayikh, come ask any one of them. In the best of times, forget Ramadan, in the best of times, the Prophet never in his life mixed 2 different foods together. In the best of times. Imagine what happened in Ramadan. Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, when she was speaking to her nephew Urwa, she takes an oath by Allah that we used to see the moon, then the moon, then the moon. 2 consecutive months, so it's longer than Ramadan. 2 consecutive months, she said there was no boiling, no cooking, not a single flame was lit in any of the 9 houses of Rasulullah for 2 consecutive months. So Urwa asked, how did you eat? How did you survive? She said, al-aswadan al-tamru wal-ma'. If Umar didn't want to put paint on the walls because lest it should be a fitna, what would have happened to the Prophet if he's seen the way we deal with breaking our fasts? Explain to me how the month of fasting has become the month of feasting. Explain. Can you see shaitan all over it or not? There are foods that are only made in Ramadan. And we've accepted that. There are sweets, they're only made, yani if you went on the day of Eid, brother, you missed it. Ramadan. Who's behind it? Who's behind it? Yallah, keep you busy. Look, shaitan couldn't stop me from standing in front of the Kaaba, but he could take my heart and my eyes away to look at the clock. Shaitan couldn't stop you from fasting, but uqsam billah, he's going to take every opportunity to distract you, man. Yallah, let him feast, bro. Let him eat like monsters. Go to any one of these, not last year, before my wife said to me, buy bread. The day before Ramadan, I wasn't thinking, I thought, all right, I'm going to buy bread. I walked into the guy, I said, brother, is there any bread? He looked at me and, brother, what are you smoking? Bread? Ali Habibi Makhallu sesame seed. Nothing. They polished the shop. So I thought, wallahi, I said to him, brother, are you closed tomorrow? He said, no, I'm open. Consume. Business owners prepare. Look, the Salaf prepare for 6 months for Ramadan. Trust me, our Muslim business owners also do the same, but they're not preparing like them. Yallah, containers. Shops open in Ramadan and then they close when? Explain to me how the month of fasting has become the month of feasting. And trends, it's not haram. Please don't come to me, brother. Are you saying, no, it's not haram. But can you see shaitan all over it or not? So because breaking our fast wasn't enough, what did shaitan have to do? He brought out trends. Yallah. A few years ago, we had this musibah that hit the ummah called the camel burger. Were you aware of it? Are you serious, Sheikh? 2 minutes? How is that fair? The camel burger was the musibah that hit the ummah. Muslims in the thousands stood in rows. Brother, the camel burger. We became fuqaha. Brother, I heard if you eat camel, you need to make wudu before and after. It jannanit the area. Camel burgers jannanit the area. It's not haram. Wallahi, it's not haram. But why in this month? Why was this the month that the ummah was obsessed with camels? Then when camels became the norm, what happened to the ummah? It became the D. When the D became the norm, last year it was the rabbit. Uqsam billah, the Australian wildlife has become petrified of the month of Ramadan because no one knows who's on the menu next. No one knows who's up next. Yallah, petrified. If it's not camels and burgers and donkeys and whatever we're eating, it's cocktails. Again, wallahi, it's halal, it's not haram. But I ask you by Allah, is this Ramadan, bro? Is this Ramadan? And shaitan has fooled. And people love it. Brother, don't you like the nightlife? Don't you like the buzz? You know, my brothers, the nights of Ramadan are holier than its days. Did you know that? The nights of Ramadan are more special, they're deeper. The best 10 nights of the year are in when? But the best 10 days of the year are not in Ramadan, indicating that the nights of Ramadan are far more special. So what has shaitan done? What has he done? You know, have you seen in our communities, what has Ramadan become now? It's become this nightlife. It's become this, wallahi, Lekemba's become the new King's Cross. Not King's Cross in the sense of the prostitution, a'udhu billah. No. What do I mean by the new King's Cross? It's the place to be. You know, in the 90s, in the 80s, brother, where do you go to party? You go to King's Cross. No, now we've got the new King's Cross and it's called Lekemba. Halden Street, Lekemba, Allahu Akbar. It's the buzz, it's the place to be. Is it haram to be there? Wallah, it's not haram. But I'm asking you, is that what Allah wants? We're complaining that the brother is leading 20 rak'at. Brother, is this sunnah? How come that takes so long? But you're standing for 45 minutes to eat a donkey in a burger. That's not a problem. It's not a problem. So the nightlife. And brother, you know, even the non-Muslims are in. Do you think the non-Muslims are coming because, wallah, they're learning about Allah? And we're fooled. And we're fooled. Yallah. The nightlife, the buzz. This is the Ramadan, brother. And look how shaitan, remember, oh ye, what's he been doing? Yes, I come Ramadan, Habibi, he's kicking back and he's laughing. Look at the fools. And we're not fools, my brothers. We're honorable people. Please, please see shaitan all over it. Don't take part in these places, man. Don't fall for these trends. Our women who we complain, oh ye, our women, have some rahmah, have some rahmah. Simple foods, man, simple foods. Anything, wallah, anything you can put together in an hour, hour and a half tops. Some soup, anything. Sure, anything, brother. Brother, I've been fasting all day, brother. Look, again, you know, as men, it's funny. But these women who, brother, so how do they spend their Ramadan? How? Sure, cooking, bro. Wallahi jnoon. Wallahi jnoon. You know, like if you're not Arab, I don't know. Are you guys familiar with this food? It's called wara anib. Anyone here familiar with it? Again, this is my personal opinion. I'm not saying this is deen. I believe this is the food of shaitan. Definitely, bro. Wallah, if it was up to me, I'll make this food haram. I'm not saying it's haram, remember what I'm saying. But just the idea, why? I'll tell you this food, it's an amazing food. It tastes beautiful, absolutely. Why? But because it's satanic, it's beautiful. So this food, how does it work? I'll tell you how it works. If you're Lebanese, you know what I'm on about. So what happens is, our wives, they call 6, 7 of their friends to come over. 6, 7 of the friends. These are the people who don't have time for Quran. We don't have time to fix our Taraweeh. We don't have time to fix our Tajweed. We don't. But the Rijal of the house, brother, he needs to eat wara anib, brother. So, okay, so now she calls 7 of her friends, and 7 of her friends, they come over for the subhi. Have you seen the subhi? Yes, it's amazing. Yes, 6 of us, they all come down. They grab these vine leaves with this meat and this 4-5 hour backbiting, slandering session. So 7 hours, 7 times, or whatever, 4, 5. Times 7 people that are sitting. Look at the wastage. 6, 7 hours. Then when it's done, depending on which family you talk to, some of them, they're more old school, they cook it. Sometimes it's cooked on low cooking. Sometimes, I know this is a bit extreme, but up to 48 hours cooking. 48 hours of the time of the believer in Ramadan. Why? So him and some of his friends come futur time and wallah mashallah kalna wara'ini, brother. Can you see shaitan or not? Yalla. And here's the other dilemma. Tell your wife this year there's no cooking Ramadan. Wallahi, بتفوت بحالة بتفوت بالحيطان. What am I going to do? Because we don't know anything else. Like what do we do? And this is Ramadan for us. So brothers complain always. And inshallah, he said 2 minutes, 15 minutes ago. So forgive me, Shaykh. Wallah, forgive me. But I'm trying to make up for last time. They didn't give me time. I said I was going to get him back. I'm going to wrap up with this, yeah? So brothers always tell me what? Brother, have you noticed how Eid doesn't have the feeling anymore? Eid doesn't have that feeling anymore. I say, Wallah, brother, where's the feeling gonna come from? Where? You and I, we've been eating and feasting and partying 30 nights of we've been eating out for 30 days. You've been having hulu and sweets and argili and my cousins and my tata and my amma and my khala for 30 days. Yes, I come Eid. What feeling are you expecting, brother? What feeling are you expecting? Come Eid, what do you expect? There's no celebration for you. You've been partying for a month. You've been partying for a month. Look, honestly, what do you expect to feel? Guess who Eid is really for? The guy that hasn't had a single invitation. He's been doing his maghrib in the masjid, breaking his fast. He's here for Isha, praying his taraweeh, monitoring. And he freshes himself for 30 days, eating little, trying to push and push and push and push. Yeah, when the day of Eid comes, and he hugs the brother that's been praying for 30 days next to him, and his eyes tear up, and there's that moment. And do you think Allah accepted us, brother? Yeah. That's Eid for the believers. What's Eid for you and I? Wallah, Eid is the ugliest day in my calendar. Wallah, it's the worst day in my... Ijnoon. I have to go to the masjid and look good. My abaya has to be ironed. You know, my wife had a heart attack that I came today and I didn't iron my abaya. Right? You're mbahdal, you're a jirsa, you're a wallah jirasat. She freaks out. So now I have to go home. You've just done the last 10 days of i'tikaf. Now you got to run home. My abaya has to be ironed and I got to look good. Okay, fine. But Muhammad, you got to take your son. It's Eid. We need to teach him. Ya Allah, Jibiliya. So now I got to drag this kid who has no idea what's going on. So now I got to come to Eid, stand like, yeah, Baba, Allah yirda alak wa Allahu Akbar. Like, Allah yaghdak jannanatni, bro. So now I got to stand there, right? Now I got to stand there. I got to give salam to the whole masjid, which is fine and I enjoy it. But guess who's waiting for me at 8:30 in the morning? Bro. So now I got to rush to my mum's home. Now I have to rush to my mum's home, and of course the kids, they look like they've all walked out of catalogs, bro. The Louis Vuitton والما بعرف ايش والقصص والحكايات. See, we think it's funny, but look how shaitan is all over it. So now my kids have to look like they're picture perfect. Utaba, 6 kids in the Taraga van and 3 of them are in seats. Allah, I want to kill myself, bro. وحطه بالكرسي ويا أبا وفوت لي إيدك وفوت لي إجرك ولم يبقوا يا. والله العظيم, by the third house, like يلا عن أبو شيطان. Once you hit to the bloody, get in there. What the hell is that, bro? And that's my Eid. That's my Eid. Go to house and let's look amazing. And you're telling me, brother, how come I don't feel anything in Eid? Wallah, samhuni, I don't know how did we get here, bro? Jazakallah khairan. Don't waste this Ramadan.
Jazakallahu khairan. Our beloved brother Mohamed Hoblos is a one of a kind. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect him and bless him. And subhanallah, the fact that we are laughing, this is